welcome to the Garden Fix. I'm Kristen and I'm in Western Pennsylvania, Zone 6B. So today I'm going to be giving you some updates on my Dahlia pre-starting process, as well as the Canna lilies and some winter sowing updates. So first off, I want to show you how good the Dahlias look. They just went into the ground today and they started to put on growth nicely in their pots, and you can see they transplanted really nicely into the ground. So we ended up with about 15 Dahlias total, and we kept about a handful, and then the rest went to Rob's mom. We spread them out in various places around the yard that they can kind of grow up through things and be supported, and we don't have to stake them. Next, I'll take you around the yard and I'll show you how some of the winter sowing seedlings are doing, that they're really coming along nicely. Here is the annual Cherokee Mum. That's put on a lot of nice growth, and I even see buds on it already. I planted out 3 of these, and 2 have been very successful. One the robins dug up, and I'll show you what I'm using to help stop the robins from digging up the seedlings. So here in the bird bath garden, I actually have 3 different seedlings planted out here. And this first one that we're going to look at is the painted salpiglossus, which is an annual. And you can see that I've set up a fork fortress around these guys, because the robins like to get in near the seedlings and peck at earthworms, and in doing so they can uproot the seedlings and destroy them. So this guy has a little fortress. Back here is a perennial poppy, and his little rock fortress has been doing quite well, also being guarded by the hedgehog. And then over here I have the lace perfume dianthus, which are looking okay. They're still a little on the small side, but they're doing just fine. So the first transplants from the winter sowing project were the California wildflower mix, and just look at how they're blooming and how great they're doing. Such a pretty sweet mixture. So just a success story from winter sowing of last year. These Gaillardia, which there's one here and one back there we'll look at in a moment, these guys are doing great this year, and they're all budded up and getting ready to bloom. Look at how big this one is. This is very unusual for a Gaillardia to get this size, and it is just full of blooms. This is going to be a very impressive plant, started from winter sowing. So here in my raised bed garden, I have my single stock seedling that sprouted, and it's looking great. It's kind of hidden behind this liatris itself, seeded itself, and needs to move. But this blue silvery foliage is the stock plant, and it should be pretty tall and should be a really nice plant. It looks very healthy. And then finally, my last update on the winter sowing are the bachelor's buttons. Look at how tall they've gotten. They're already 2 feet tall, and they already have buds on them. Some of these guys in the middle are a little bit smaller, but you can see this one on the end is just as tall. These are going to be great. So I also want to give you an update on my Ranunculus project. And if you remember, I planted out about 9 Ranunculus that I had pre-sprouted. Only one I'm left with here. It does have a nice bud on it, so I should at least have one nice bloom. But they were a little bit disappointing. They just did not catch, and they didn't last. This guy has enough shelter from the St. John's wort and even the tulips here that he managed to survive. It's going to start to get pretty warm though, so he better hurry up and bloom. So the last thing I want to show you today are the Canna lilies and how well they're doing. I just potted them up today. You can see that they have several shoots of new growth. And I have one more pot with them growing. So I had success with 2 out of the 4 that I was growing. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I have a few more things throughout the season that I still need to get in the ground. They're just a little bit behind from the winter sowing project. Overall, I had about 50% success with all my seed starting ventures, and this is the remainder of it, which will go out in the garden soon enough. So thanks for joining me on this update today. Please like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll see you in the garden. There's a giant mosquito flying here. Hang on, he's gonna come for my ankles. Got him. So the very first winter sowing seedlings that I transplanted are actually in bloom right now. Look at the wildflower.
Get the what?